Well, you know it. Until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And you know, I'll say that again. Well, folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. It's a beautiful Monday in spite of. As you know, Mondays are not the same without a dose of an opinion. I am Nana Ansah, Kwao, the fourth chief of the Little Republic of Akwamu Edumasa, and today our topic is preparation towards prevention. Preparation towards prevention. But before, let me thank you all. Let me thank you really from the bottom of my heart for allowing a change in the format last week. For the very first time, we had guests on the show. We did so for a very good cause. We did so for a very, very good cause. Fighting for the rights of abused children, particularly those from really poor backgrounds who haven't got a pot to do something in. For those of you who know the story about the child abuse case in Edumasa, which led to all that, pandemonium. Well, the case went to court last Thursday. The culprit was found guilty and sentenced 10 years. My prayer is that it serves as a deterrent to those within the community that these things have serious consequences, so don't go there. And that's my prayer, and I hope that, within some reason, I can achieve it. We shall keep fighting on, and so I thank you so much. I thank you so much. But today we are back to our usual preparation towards prevention. Now, you should be proud to be a Ghanaian to some extent with regards to how we are preparing to prevent an outbreak. Although the politicians are more ready than the medical staff, we have chalked some feet, some credit. There was this Englishman. There's this audio going around about this Englishman who went through Kotoka and then he got to Heathrow. He was so disappointed with the lack of attention given to passengers coming through Heathrow. Rang into a radio show and was impressed with Ghana. Was giving us so much praises as how we were screening people and checking temperatures. Doing what it is that we could do. While when he got to Heathrow and he was thinking that Heathrow, being a more advanced country, should have been doing more than what Ghana was doing, was disappointed. Female radio presenter, those of you who have listened to the audio, you could actually sense the enviness in her voice, thinking that, oh, no, maybe Ghana was just wasting their time and that, don't know what the UK got. But it was just envy. But it was good. It was good to hear that, for once, they were not talking about you being hungry, dirty, filthy, but they were actually talking that you were doing something right. Last weekend, there were 3 funerals in Edumasa, the Republic. Prior to the weekend, I asked that the announcement to be made that there will be no handshakes. To a large extent, we all did our best. It was so awkward, but it had to be done because it is absolutely rude to walk up to a chief and just throw your hands up in the air and say "Michiao." It's a taboo. But here we are. What can we do? We have to live with this taboo where people just throw their hands up in the air to say Nana Michiao. So to a large extent, we did what we could do. Somehow, folks, here in Ghana, most disease outbreaks will come and hover around the borders, and then we kind of get spared the disaster most of the time, and then our guardian angel, God bless his heart, probably working overtime, the disease will probably go away. Folks, we were very alert during the Ebola days. We were very, very alert. That's when the sanitizer craze, came about. But not to this extent. Even though Ebola was far more dangerous than this, This time I have seen a side of Ghana that maybe only during the military, rule era, that time, that you'd have any semblance of what I am seeing today. So far, 6 people have been reported of having the corona, who we are told are, fairly stable. But even before, the state had released $100 million towards the fight. $100 million. I don't know why the figure was not given in cities, but hey, folks, if you ask me, that's the kind of leadership we want. That's the kind of leadership we want. You stand up and stop harm from coming to your people. Sometimes you even have to put your foot down, go a bit further, and stop your people from going to harm, which is the most difficult thing as any leader. Sometimes easier to stop the harm coming, but stopping your people from going to harm, that is another one on its own. You may not be liked, you may not be the most popular, but the right thing must be done. Folks, you have to help me out here. You really need to help me out here, because this is where the whole thing sort of boggles my mind a bit. Is it that as Ghanaians, we just want to choose the way we die? We prefer to choose how we die? Because it looks like apart from Ebola and now coronavirus, any death is welcome. Any number of deaths in any way is welcome. Hundreds, thousands, it's okay, so far as it's not Ebola or corona. Look at how babies were dying in Okonfanochi until Seth Boateng intervened. For 40 years, the building had been there since the days of Achampong. We couldn't care. Babies were dying, 7 a week, 8 a week. The numbers sound like a joke. Today, on the front page of the Daily Graphic, today, right on the front page, 18 die from CSM in the Upper West, just the Upper West. 18 gone, cervical cancer, very, very preventable. But it's okay, because it's not the type of death that we don't want. That's an acceptable death. Folk, in our ICUs, intensive care units, it costs nearly, something up to 2,000 cedis a day. Ask yourselves, how many days would you last if you were to end up there? If you stepped out on the road today and an Okada, which is Okada just runs you over and you end up in ICU. Ask yourself, 2,000 cedis a day, how long would you last? So I am not here to condemn our preparation towards the prevention of coronavirus. No. But to ask if we can apply the same kind of seriousness to other areas where we are equally dying. Our lives are equally at risk. Or if we should, I should say, areas where, we die more. We have got 6 cases of, corona, isolated somewhere, doing fine. I am saying, in the areas where people are really perishing their lives, can we apply that sort of leadership and seriousness? To date, folks, 400 have died on our roads. Thousands have been maimed, injured. And it's just the 3rd month. It's just the 3rd month. It's an election year too. Can you imagine what will happen by close of the year? Can you imagine the numbers by the time the year goes to an end? Folks, last night, all the president did, and I watched it, there was no gun in sight, no macho men. He just told us that by the time he's done with his speech, schools should be closed down, no more church, mosque gatherings done, conferences and every sort of gathering cancelled, political rallies cancelled, even funerals. He has limited the number to 25 people. Funerals! Folks, and we have built a culture where these days we live for dead bodies. People just stay alive for the opportunity to get close to a dead body. Yeah, we value dead bodies more than people who are alive. President says, no more funerals. 25 people at the most, just go and have your private, quiet burial. Folks, on a lighter note, I don't know how Nana Kwesi Akufu's funeral would have been arranged under these circumstances. Folks, he had 127 surviving children and 57 wives. Can you imagine trying to plan such a funeral with a 25 limit under these conditions? That would be interesting. But just on the light note. But look at the seriousness. But the president has decreed. And as far as I'm concerned, everyone is abiding by the rule. I had 2 speaking engagements. They called to cancel. There was a funeral we were supposed to go to in Winneba. They called to cancel. So folks, what I'm saying is, what stops the president from coming back on our TVs to say that due to the numbers dying on our roads, starting from Greater Accra or whichever region he wants to choose, list the number of stations and give them a specific week to apply for their driver's license, again by going through full rigid driving test. If you fail, you fail. If you pass, the driver's picture is boldly put on the car with pass written on it, so we all know and see which cars are safe to board. If you fail, you can't be in the station to load. And so those who board the bars on the side of the road, if you get bent, you get bent. How can we be so calm about over 2,000 deaths and yet panic so much about 6 cases of corona? Throw $100 million at it, and they are even okay so far. So folks, it gives me hope. Folks, it gives me hope that it can be done. All it will take is for leadership to take charge. That's all. One broadcast is what it will take. One broadcast is what it will take. That enough is enough. Reapply and retest. Reapply and retest. Folks, let us all apply the same seriousness to all aspects of our lives, particularly the areas which are just massacring and killing us in our numbers. So if all it took is a 10-15 minute speech to stop schools, universities, flights, traveling, funerals, everything, just a 10-minute speech to just kill it, then folks, I'm sure within that same 10 minutes, some more lives can be saved. Some more lives can be saved in the same 10 minutes. So we are congratulating state and all the machinery for putting all the monies and everything together to stop this menace from coming here. Thank you. But in your account, they say, so we thank you, but we need more. Don't stop there. Come back on the screen, just 10 minutes, and decree that no more deaths on the road. The other day when I said they should fine people 500 cities, people, oh no, it's too much. Look at how many people just get, from the day we did that show till now, how many people have just been squashed and dead and perished in the most gruesome of manners. How many? From when I did that show saying that we should charge people 500 cedi spot fine for misbehaving on the roads. Oh no, it's too harsh, it's too, be calm, be gentle. Look at the number of lives if you were to quantify it. And so if it's taking 10 minutes to lock down the country, we are asking the president for another 10 minutes to put a lockdown on the roads so that we are safe. Folks, you see somebody boarding a trotro, right? They got their nose masks, they have their sanitizers, and they're all set to prevent themselves from this corona thing. The driver is driving like an idiot. The tires are bald. The car is not roadworthy, and he sat in the car preventing himself from corona. And he says, "Oh, my brother, the chances of you dying in this car before corona even arrives here is so high." And so let us all raise this awareness as we have done. Let all media houses, TV, it shouldn't be a joy campaign, Arrive Alive. It is a national campaign. And I'm sure 10 minutes from the leader should start something. Folks, it's 0302-216-541. 0302-216-541. Just as we are congratulating leadership for taking leadership, we are asking that there are other issues pertaining here which require leadership. And we need leadership to work, to act, to be seen. 10 minutes. If you can lock down Ghana, you can lock down trotro stations and lock down bus stations. Lock it down. Say, this bus station, you've had too many accidents. All drivers, go and reset. Go through your driving license and your road signs, and let's see if you even understand what it is you're doing behind the steering wheel. Why can't it be done? It should be. Hello, who's my first caller?
Good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
Thank you for a wonderful program.
Thank you. Who am I talking to, please?
Nana, this is Yawa from Medina.
Yawa, let me hear you.
Yes. Nana, this is a very laudable move you have taken. And also, can the president just come out to talk about the sanitation in the country as well? It looks like just one word from him, and we are all running for it. So if the president comes out and say, don't litter about, if you litter about, you'll be arrested, I think we'll have a much more cleaner Ghana. Thank you, Nana.
Thank you too, and I agree with you. Another 10-minute speech to say, listen, I'll be driving past Kaneshi, and if I come and I see one sachet water, DC or MC or whoever it is you are there, you've lost your job. I'm sure it will be done. But Isaac is on the phone. Isaac, did the call drop? Sorry, Isaac, call back 0302-216-541. I am sure if the president said that with regards to sanitation, I'll be driving through this area, Mr. DC, Madam, whoever you are, if I see something out of place, know that you are out of office. You'll be shocked. Kwao is on the line.
Nana Maju.
Mejosu Minia.
Nana, maybe me can send you a video way so. Say, who knew why not a bit to me dinner Asha 19? My answer, Nammy should say, Canana, Bema may answer later, but me bon pie say, Yamima won't quatenting. Now, won't snashy. Now, to me, my and Chile Sanya Dibia Wuya, may you to Ghana fool, National Baya Ghana do couldn't. Nana, and yes, maybe be perfectly more my way who by you. Never spoke, ye never ready say you be accepted. And was my president, and you will be ready so. Go be uncle. I saw you then, they are only ye, the dinner that the uncle for ye, you baby. Make yourself be a year, coronavirus. Nothing here, you can't fail now, canoe. Sanitation. It's a call on my wing, president, the decree, Biapa said. See, who say will be 2 more like 4 baby. Now you go to miss on the party at the next police station. You better pour a password. Yes, I think Ghana, the cleanest city I ever see, canoe. Yeah, no. And the cars are moving rough for Kwao. She said, what can Kwao? And so Corona, yay, Corona. Nana say, yeah, my young quarter baby, my young quarantine, your and no, I be a bit so. Young be you. Nana, Saba, Pia, no, Corona, no, Kakran say. Master Roman Penny say, again, we, Mihuni say, Unyami per se, what they are before I say, Ansah, if it's already a swatch. It's a message that says, Joshua, Bible move Joseph, or say, or Helen Bob, say, Niami Peso Oyeni, young Tiania, the Senya Ecomo Bebano, Nanami Huni say, it been a bay, into your Mampanini, and supporting farmers, not grains, or Mundia, Nantis, I do baby, not what they say to me, a common Bebano, a bayasem, into your Mampanini to Tiania. Miss Reno, my farmers for no, and starting your baby, no power money, or Muria, a swaba, a 1/5, near the Akoma by no store, then a baby, I brought for your mother said, to say, the Anakomu for being rare, young, so your best as your supply, no more by her, near the Womoso, that was another.
Banyansa for a kind of sem and kind of sem. When I put up the statistics on my old school page today, someone asked me what was wrong with me. It seems road accidents should be treated normal. More deaths on our roads and the environment too very filthy and disorganized. Where are the punitive measures to really punish culprits? Just talk. Macosby Anthony. But right here in Tantra Hill is Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
Hello,
yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I have a little contribution to make. I totally agree with you concerning drivers being, put, to another test before driving. But the problem we have in Ghana. Let me say this in today for you to understand. Ghana, we don't have foundation. We have no foundation. And then look, when anybody that you put at position, all that they want is money. Don't be surprised that at the airport right now, because of this coronavirus, people who are in position to make sure that no aircraft land will take money and land there and let people go to. I'm swearing on this. Now, you know what? The best thing I think concerning our traveling and drivers is that I listened to Mr. Kumia recently that we should apply this system, which you plant this speed control system on those long vehicles that travels in the night and other things. I think that will help. But I'm telling you that, look, our people in Ghana, I'm telling you, all that they think about is money. Wherever you put them, because the foundation is not properly laid from whoever or whatever time, people are so conscious about money that even airport people will collect money and let people enter the country without even checking them. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you very much too. But sometimes when you sack from the top, it's when you keep sacking from the bottom, then it keeps going on. But when you sack from the top, you can mitigate some of these things. Simon is on the phone. Hello, Simon.
Good evening.
Good evening.
And I am mentioned on this topic here, and I will discuss it.
Thank you.
Nana, may say, the woman, the Nipa, or Ashi, or Kemo, such as a Popanzo. Woman and a Yassi, as compared to a coronavirus. So, in fact, now kind of name it a bar. Now, you're trying to say your president on baby, but I still say accident would be normal with that. But a bushafone and Cropua, a bushian, and money in Papa and Mammy, you let me work to answer the dear. Yes, sir. The bomb person, your Rebecca President Kuma. Now, send your workers a drivers from with the license to know. This is auto drivers, you know, that young share near San Francisco, months and Copononco, a driving test ye. Because of Maka Canaya. Now, near Tosumi, no matter say, I buying so unfair says the guy ye car to hope. Say ye the baby says that coronavirus as you may. Obia ye the bibation is our song to be yes, no, omina your mind, or mining ye, yes, cancer, almost to ye, none near Fatano, or Montaigne, Naina, young Paso.
Mensumedase 0302216541. Henry is in Dakuman. Hello, Henry.
Yeah, hello, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening, Henry.
Yeah, thank you for this presentation. I would like to make a little contribution.
Sure.
I think that since this coronavirus thing happened and the declaration of $100 million and topped up by what the president said yesterday, I've also been thinking about this same thing. That what about the accidents that are actually killing many of us. That one, nobody has actually taken any decision to speak about it or to take any drastic measures. So I wasn't really surprised when I heard you talking about it. That's a good thing. I think that our leaders must be serious about some of these things. Accidents are killing many people, and yet we don't seem to take it serious at all. We're only paying lip service to it. We go and make nice speeches. We are doing this, and yet every weekend, 30 people have died, 4 people have died, and so on and so on. And we are still living in it, and nobody seems to be making any, taking any decision about driver retraining, retesting. Our authority, what do you call it, road safety that has now been turned into an authority. All that we hear about is plans to do this, plans to do that. We don't seem to see anything. I think it's a good thing that you are doing to put pressure on the powers that be to really respond to what is important. Thank you very much.
Thank you too very much, Henry. It's 0302 216 541. Justice is on the line. Hello, Justice.
Hi, Nana. Good evening.
Good evening, Justice.
Nana, God bless you with this wisdom. I love the way you started the whole thing and ended it. I thought you were just going to give praises, but you ended with a problem. And the way you ended it actually shows that in this country, our challenge is about leadership. So we don't have leaders who take a very decisive decision. They don't look at issues in a very holistic manner. In fact, if you look at the space of accidents that we are having, it's more than the pandemic that had been declared, because you have people dying day in, day out. And for me, I think the problem and the challenge is that because these leaders don't have their people involved in this kind of accidents, and so they don't care. Now they are afraid of coronavirus because that one is no respecter of a person. It doesn't look at position. In fact, it's killing even the elite, even more than the poor. And so this one, they are afraid of it. And that is the kind of leadership that we have. But this should teach us a lesson in this country. Good evening, Nana.
Good evening. Good evening to you too. This is from Nana Ano Amehia. We congratulate the president for having the bottle to shut down churches with just a 15-minute broadcast. We humbly implore His Excellency, Mr. President, to use his scratchy powers to decree a 30-minute simultaneous road safety education broadcast from 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. to quell the carnage on our roads. Desperate moments call for drastic measures to be put in place for road accidents, just as the COVID-19 coronavirus. Congrats, President, for your boldness and courage. Nana Ano Amehia, road safety advocate. And I think it's another laudable thing. That from 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m., whatever station you tune to, radio, TV, DSTV, whatever it is, so far as it's broadcasting through Ghana, some sort of driving education. Look, the numbers are dying on the road. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. But Abu is on the line. Hello, Abu.
Hello, good evening, Nana.
Good evening. Let me hear you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. Yeah, you see, so it's like the corona now has covered everything. We don't discuss Galamsey anymore. We don't discuss the road accident. I don't know the last time you left our country. If you notice, there's this road marking that has been done a few months ago, and they stop at somewhere before you get accident. And when you drive along that, you don't see the way. And there's this marking that is just close to a big pothole, and nothing is being done about that. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So as people have already discussed, there's this road from Akwale to Nuasu. So Muhammad did it. This road is less than 3 years old. You have about more than 40 potholes on that road. Where is that contractor who contracted that road? That man have to bring to book. Because as for that road, I'm too worried. It's less than 3 years. Just pass on that road and see. It's just too shoddy that you see. So a word can make everybody go silent. So what of Galamsey? So Nana should just come and say everybody should stop Galamsey. And after this Everywhere should be clean. Every store, they should lock every store. Everybody should come out clean everywhere. Shama, people are selling things on Bola. Truck car parks on Bola. Everywhere is choked. So after this, Nana, one word, everywhere should be clean. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It looks like everybody is saying that, you know what, we are dying for leadership. Nana, thank you for the topic. I just told myself today about our filth in the country. The president just gave an order and it will be obeyed. The neatness galore. Patience in Koforidua. Patience, good evening. Daniel is on the phone. Hello, Daniel.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
I'm going to say, as long as we don't have a way of checking somebody's driving record, it's practically. Like if you pick somebody's driving record, you don't have a way of checking his practically. Whether you've had an accident before or something. It's very difficult to cut the chaos out.
I think it's a very laudable thing. But you see, can't we even start with just if we can't even nationalize driving records, can we at least start with the commercial ones? I mean, like even if we start with the buses, because that's where look, for a bus to crash and 30 people die, it doesn't make sense. I mean, that's like aeroplane, helicopter territory. That's like a ship drowning territory. But bus the MP money patete, it doesn't add up. Folks, honestly, it does not really add up. Ajima is on the line. Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I hope you're doing well.
I'm good, my brother.
I'm very surprised at where you managed to get this your platform. It looks as if a lot of people don't, cast their mind back to what you are demanding us of. And those people who may not agree with you, I want your statement to be echoed this way. So not knowing the president can issue an immediate statement to the full, and he was not able to do same for the accident victims. Now, for people to get spent beyond recognition, and president was not able to wake up. It's very serious and terrible. You are not saying that this corona shouldn't be taken seriously, but there was something that killing us beyond recognition, but attention was not being brought into. How many days did we realize the number of corona in the country? And how many days have we sat down seeing accidents happen and people are dying? So if there can be directive, why shouldn't it also be attached to accidents? For all you know, corona may not kill even 20 people before it die down. So Nana, I start with you 100%. God bless you for your program.
God bless you too. Ajari is on the phone. Let me talk to Ajari. Hello, Ajari.
Yeah, Nana, good evening. I hope you're doing well.
I'm good, my brother.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity given. I would like to join you in, as it were, eulogizing the president for taking such, bold steps. Yes, we all, like such posturing for a leader, who knows that if this pandemic disease is not really met with some optimal solutions, it will really deteriorate the population, the Ghanaian population. I agree, but I want to answer the question that you asked. Why our leaders are not getting the cojones as well to, stop certain things that are even killing us more than the coronavirus. Now, I have realized something which I want to share with you. I have seen that our politicians do not like, when they bring something on board and there is a dissenting view. This is one thing that I have seen with our politicians, and I can cite a classic example when the president spoke about, I think about the assemblyman election. I've forgotten the law, and the NDC decided not to support. You realize that about 10 days about 5 or 10 days to the time that we were going to vote, the president rescinded his decision. But unlike when the president spoke about the creation of these regions, the NDC supported, and it came to pass. If you remember, then again, and now currently as we speak, there is a bill before Parliament that the government wants to stop they call it accident cars or so. Cars that have spent more than 10 years from coming to this country. And some people have begun to oppose this particular, bill that the president should not sign. The last time I was even listening to journalists who were saying that should the president sign this bill to become a law, a lot of guys are not going to get money to purchase vehicles. Now, are we going to purchase vehicles and live and die, in those vehicles, or we will prefer to walk and live forever? So it is something that is seriously baffling my mind that Ghanaians, when we are benefiting from something that we think, would serve our own parochial interest, we tend to forget the general interest of the population or the populate, of this country. So Nana, I think in one, way of summarizing it, or in a nutshell, I think our politicians are not having the balls to, as we stand when there are backlashes, people are castigating them, people are vilifying them for a particular decision taken, even if the decision will do a lot of favor, to this particular country. Thank you very much.
I thank you too very much. Nana Poku, Kwabena Poku is on the line. Ojam, let me hear you.
Yeah, good evening to your listeners. In fact, I've enjoyed the show so much.
Great.
It is true that the president can do so much. It took just a decree, everything seems to be working. But I also want to add a little bit to the discussion this evening. I want to focus on the legislature. This evening, I'm told there's an emergency meeting. They have to send the parliament legislating coming out with a bill about this coronavirus. But what have they been able to do with the vehicular manslaughter? In the UK, there's a law called vehicular manslaughter. But you call negligent cause an accident on the road. You could be tried and sentenced to some 15 years imprisonment. For the past 3 years, I have been canvassing for the enactment of such a bill in Ghana, vehicular manslaughter, to deal with recalcitrant drivers. Until such a thing is done, I bet you the carnage on our road will continue.
And it's so sad, Kwabena Poku there. It's so sad. 0302216541. Those of you watching on Facebook Live. This one says, and I agree with you. This is Ben Aqua. I agree with you concerning our commercial drivers. The DVLAs now take monies from these people and give them license to kill us on the road. It's really pathetic when you go to DVLA and see. It goes on more. This Joshua Akanmu says, well done, sir. And then Richmond Deftraco, without coronavirus, you have nothing to discuss on radio. Discuss the important issues about Nanado's contaminated. Oh, please. Okay. On the phone, 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, Nana. It's Ansah from Agogo in the Fantastic.
Ansah, let me hear you.
Nana, what I want to say is the government is doing very well for making this proactive statement. But one thing that is worrying me now is, where do we get our sanitizers to protect ourselves? People are deliberately hiking the prices of sanitizers. And one thing that they are forgetting is that when you sell it or when you decide to hike it and people are not getting access to it, when unfortunately one gets it, you, the one who is accumulating the money, will also get some. So we advise ourselves so that at least we all support ourselves and make sure that we all protect ourselves and take ourselves out of all these predicaments. And I believe that God is in control. Ghanaians, all shall be well with that. Good evening, Nana.
Good evening. Yes, you keep hiking the price of the sanitizers. We won't buy it. We'll go and get the virus and come and give it to you. The issue of sanitizer overpricing keeps coming up. But Johnny's on the line. Hello, Johnny.
Yeah, Nana, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, I think I beg to differ here small because I don't think it's as a result of the president's, going out to talk about this that people are kind of, you see, before this thing came to Ghana, the people have been watching on television, listening to the news, so the consciousness was there before. So I think we are making it sound like, it's because the president said that that's how things are happening like that. Okay, let me give you an example, Nana. We are in this country whereby people have actually worked hard for so many years and have invested their money at various banks. This is a government who has, shut down all these banks, not thinking about the people who have actually worked hard and their monies are locked up. They can't even access it and jump to go and do free HS. So think people are happy with this free SHS 10. I bet to differ. We should, be serious with some issues that are, so important to the people of this country.
Okay, let me beg to differ with yours. I can't seem to put all your concerns together a little bit. I'm just saying that the president created awareness of coronavirus. I'm just saying that he put, drastic measures in place to stop it. And so he could put drastic measures in place to stop other things. But Isaac is on the phone. Hello, Isaac.
Yes, Nana, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, Nana, my take is on the isolation centers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Nana, the issue is, if this virus can travel to people easily, right? Why do we create isolation centers in public facilities? Now, let's take an example. We have the University of Ghana Medical Center, which is fairly new and it's not being used, like, let's say, effectively or efficiently. Why don't we use this center as an isolation center? That's point number one. Number two, we know that the Bank of Ghana also has a new facility, which is also very good for such a purpose. So I will urge the president or the minister of health or the ministry in general to consider facilities that are fairly new and then demarcate them for this isolation purposes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much too. Michael is on the line. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Michael. Nana?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for your advocacy. It's so great to be hearing such words from you. I would like to use this platform just to urge the president to do more national development instead of all these things he has been doing. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So Nana, until the pain of staying with same becomes stronger than pain of change, we will not change. Leadership must be decisive on national growth in all areas and stand firm to be different. Festus is on the phone.
Okay, good evening, Nana.
Good evening, Festus.
I appreciate everything you've been doing for the country. May God bless you.
God bless you too.
My contribution is that today the police are doing enlistment, and we had our medical examination today. And of the coronavirus, they had to celebrate the number. They have to separate the number. We are very many, and I was part of the enlistment. So we are supposed to take first 50, second 50, and we're over more than 1050. So this disease is going to take a lot. So I also urge the president that he should put in place measures that will go against road accidents and all that has been happening, so that the country can be safe for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me read this message again. So, Nana, until the pain of staying the same becomes stronger than the pain of change, we will not change. Leadership must be decisive on national growth in all areas and stand firm to be different. You did not add your name. That was a good message. Well, happy birthday in advance to Abeku Sankofi. Happy birthday in advance. Wednesday is Abeku's birthday. My son's birthday is on Wednesday. Can you imagine? And Derek is our usual listener and caller. Derek was on the 14th of March. So Derek, belated happy birthday to you. All these March giants. Mauto, my last caller. Oh, the line dropped. Well, if you are just tuning in, which I hope not, we started by saying with congratulations leadership for all the decisive actions they are taking to prepare to prevent us from getting this coronavirus, craze, which is shutting down the Western world. Somebody says, look, maybe it's time for Africa to set up. Let's start growing our grains and tubers. And Eric is on the line. Eric, let me hear you.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for the good work. For me, I think the issue of praising the president so much that he's done well putting measures in place, this should have been done a long time ago when the disease started spreading through and across Europe and the United States. He should have put in measures in place to stop all flights going through Europe, the United States, as well as China. But he has sat down, and now we have about 6 cases. There is now time that he's putting up measures.
Thank you very much. Eric still not too impressed, but hey, it's your opinion, Eric. It's your opinion, Eric. Well, folks, so until I come back to you next Monday with a different opinion, the fight to get a fund in place to save and help deprived children when they get abused has not stopped. In any case, I promised that it was going to be my blackmail that until that fund is in place, I am going to personally campaign to tell people not to vote, until that fund is in place. I think we're becoming too selfish. And so that's my blackmail promise to the state. But happy birthday to all you March borns. Ernest is here to give us the news bulletin. Abeku's on the ones and twos. Sammy Forcing will be coming to drive talk you home. And as you're driving, you are thinking to yourself that great leadership, but what about the rest? Folks, my name is Ansah, Kwao the Fourth. And until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter.